Hello, good evening. It is Thursday, it's 7:30, and it is, of course, our new weekly show, Richard Andreas Talk AWFC, and what a lot there is to talk about this week. It hasn't been a particularly good week, has it, for Arsenal women? Let's be totally honest. Two defeats, two fairly abject performances, which we will talk about. And the big theme for tonight's show is really going to be, have we really moved on that far from a year ago when the dying days of Jonas? Are things really that different? That's what we're going to talk about. And it's all coming up after this.
Good evening, everybody. Where's Richard? We miss our host, Richard. I hope he'll be back soon. Anyway, welcome, everybody. And as Richard said, we didn't have the best week, and we have to discuss two defeats, and it's a hard time to be a Gooner. But anyway, it's our team, and we stand to our team and try to do the best and support the team. And yeah, if you asked me 2 days ago or even yesterday how I feel, I'd say not the best and very disappointed. But today it's better. I'm looking forward, and yeah, maybe in 1 week everything will look brighter for us after the Brighton game, after the Lisbon game. Richard, our host, is back. So good evening.
Yes, good evening, Andreas. Thanks for filling in briefly there. I've had a few problems with the camera over the last couple of streams. But anyway, we're having a bit of a malfunction on the camera, a bit like Arsenal having a bit of a malfunction at the moment on the pitch over the last couple of weeks or so, which hasn't been great, as we know. But as you rightly say, we do need to try and look forward because, what's gone is gone and we can't change the last few results. All we can do is try to improve the next few results and try and at least keep the season plodding along a little bit better than what it has done, obviously, over the last couple of weeks. So, yes, it hasn't been a great week. It has not been a great week at all. We can't try and dress it up and pretend otherwise. It's been a bit of a disaster overall, but lots to talk about anyway. So we're going to start, of course, last weekend. A game that we said on the show was a must-win game. Didn't quite go to plan, did it? Now, of course, a theme that's not only this season has gone back into last season as well. It seems as though we've become quite easy to score goals against because of the number of mistakes that we're making. And it seems to be individual errors a lot of the time. And is it a confidence thing? I'm not really sure. We're playing it out from the back. We're conceding far too many. At the end of the day, look, you can lose a game. Man City are a good team, right? Lyon are a good team. Yes. You can lose those games. Of course you can. That happens, and it's not the end of the world because you're losing to decent teams. But when you're gifting teams the number of goals that we have in, particularly the last two games, you cannot afford to do that against anybody. But you do it against the top teams, and you're not going to get anything out of the game. And I didn't think there were spells in the Man City game when we actually played okay. We scored two really good goals in the second half, really good goals they were. And that's Arsenal at their best. That is the Arsenal from last season that tore so many teams apart. That was the Arsenal that went over to Lyon and scored 4 goals. That is the Arsenal that we've seen a lot of over the last year or so. But unfortunately, throughout that game, we also saw a lot of the Arsenal that we had seen under the previous manager. And that, again, has become a theme over the last couple of weeks. That seems to be happening too often. And I say, when you're playing against the better teams, you're just not going to get a result. I mean, obviously the Aston Villa game the week before, we know how disappointing a performance that was. Yes, okay, we probably played better against Man City, if we're honest. Over the 90 minutes, we probably played better than we did against Villa, but it wasn't good enough because of the goals we conceded. And it wasn't like they were great goals, really. It was just poor defensively again. I mean, Andreas, what did you make of the Man City game? Because, you know, we can look at the positives. We play some good football at times. We scored 2 really good goals, as I said, but we're losing the game because once again, as we've done pretty much in every game this season, barring the Man United game where we drew 0-0, we're gifting teams goals, just gifting them goals, and we can't keep doing it.
Yeah, I think one problem is that we are not fully concentrated over 90 minutes. The first 2 games against LCL and West Ham, we conceded early goals. And now against Villa and Man City, we concede the late goals. So what's the mental problem in the heads of our players? Why can't they be concentrated from the first till the 97th minute? And with conceding too many goals, I see a pattern from last season continuing to now. Last season, we conceded 4 goals against West Ham, 5 goals in Munich, 4 against Villa, and 5 against Brighton, also 3 from Man United. Now, in pre-season, 4 from Spurs, now 3 from Man City. You can't always score so many goals. That I said it in a show a few weeks ago. It's everything okay as long as you score 1 more, and if you concede 3, you have to score 4. As long as it works, okay. But you can't say, no problem. We concede 3 against Man City. Okay, let's score 4 or 5. No, it doesn't work every time. And mental problems with the concentration or something like that. And then, I know we shouldn't start discussing the manager's position, but the Man City game is one. We have to talk about her starting 11, her decisions she made. I mean, Katie Reid, she's now player of the month, fully deserved player of the month, September. Yeah, she made 3 very good games in the WSL, and as a reward, she was set on the bench. You can't explain this to me. Why? It's not too much game time, too many games. It was 1 game a week, and a 19-year young player should be able to play 1 game a week. That's not the reason. Of course, we all love Lotta for her personality, for the way she behaves. She loves the club. She does everything for the Arsenal. She's one of my favorites too, and I'm happy to see her play. But there was no reason to make this change and bring Lotta in. She has played 2 or 3 or 5 minutes in this season so far, and then bring her in against a top team like Man City and say, she played very good last season against Panichan, and she's better in opening the game, her long balls, etc. She's better than Katie Reid. But if you play against a striker like Panichan, then you have to be 100% concentrated in defending. So all what you say Lotta does better than Katie Reid with opening with long balls, she was not able to do it. She had to be concentrated on Panichan, and Shaw scored. So it was a strange decision from the host is gone again. It was a strange decision from Renee, and I wouldn't have taken Katie Reid out. It was not to understand for me. You have a green screen now. And then we also saw that this double pivot with Kim and Mariona doesn't work. And then, it was Vicky Pelova in. They are too similar, and it didn't work. And so I was questioning a lot in the lineup. Also, that Katie McCabe was starting. I said last week she needs a rest. She got her rest against Lyon, but maybe she would have better get the rest already against Man City. And so things are continue. Then the rotation is always on the wings. But the problem with rotating your wingers is that the attacking line, they are not used to each other. And what we see every week is that Leslie Russo doesn't get the service she needs in the box. And for me, Leslie Russo should be our box player, our number 9. Of course, she's very good in keeping the ball, in holding the ball, etc. But if she does, and she does it on the wings or in midfield, then we don't have a striker in the box. So strange decisions, and something is not working as it should. And this cost us. And if what we said in the last week, you have to get a dirty 1-0 win against Aston Villa, or if you're playing away at Man City and it's 2-2, then just bring it over the line. Take this 1 point and defend properly, and say it's 2 or 3 minutes to go. Okay, we are kicking every ball on the stands or out, and just to prevent them from creating a chance, and take the 2-2, take the 1 point. And now we are here with nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, really frustrating the way we threw that game away. I mean, the third goal was terrible. It was a mistake from Lotta, funnily enough. Which, I thought she had an okay game. But you're right. Why would you leave out the player who's been your best defender all season? And why would you throw in somebody like Lotta who's barely played in a game of that importance? It seemed a crazy decision. And yes, okay, maybe she's had success against Bunny Shaw in previous games. Maybe so. Yes, you could say that's the case. But it's not about that necessarily, is it? It's more about looking at the team as a whole. What was the best team to play in that game? And the best team, or the best defence, would clearly have been, at the moment, is Steph Catley and Katie Reid. They're the best 2 central defenders that we've had this season. So, of course, you should play them in a game of that importance. So, and yeah, there are other baffling decisions by the manager. And I'm starting to think, and I said this the other night when the game was on, the Lyon game, which we will talk about obviously a bit later, but I was saying the other night that, did we get lucky winning the Champions League because we came from behind a few times and we got a few good performances? We seemed to get quick goals in games at crucial times. Did we get lucky? Were we really the best team in Europe last season? I don't think we were. We lost loads of games in the competition, 5, I think, all the way through. Most teams that win the Champions League maybe don't lose a game or lose 1 game in the whole competition. We lost about 5, didn't we? If you include the qualifiers. So, were we the best team in Europe? No. We managed to win we were brilliant in the final, absolutely fantastic. And the coaching of that team in that final and the execution of the game plan was fantastic. And we can't ever take that away from Renee or the team or anything else. And I wouldn't want to do that. But you've got a question now, as that given Renee, it's bought her time because she's won the Champions League. So she's got loads of time. And is it now she's thinking, I'm going to tweak a few things around. I've got a little bit of give now. She was desperate for the job at the beginning. We won loads of games, loads and loads of wins in a row, generally against fairly mediocre opposition generally. But yeah, we had some good results. Bayern Munich was a fantastic result. And then she got offered the job full time. And then suddenly we started to see a few more inconsistent performances, some terrible defensive performances. And of course, we managed to sneak our way through into the final on the back of a couple of amazing performances. But I don't know, I'm starting to question now whether Renee really does know what she's doing. Is she really an elite manager? I don't think she is. She's done well. She's done very well in one competition. But when you look at the WSL, when you look at all the other cup competitions that we've been in, we've not been good enough. We've not been anywhere near good enough. And for most of the Champions League, in many of those games, Real Madrid away, Lyon at home last season, Bayern Munich away. I know, okay, Bayern Munich was before Renee was manager, but some of those performances just was not good enough. And we got away with it because we turned around in the second leg with some great performances. And I don't know. I think maybe that's clouded a lot of people's judgment of her. And I think when you break it down, when you look at the decisions that she's made, like you said before, Andreas, and you're right, these themes from this season, the goals we're conceding, the gifts we're giving teams, It's not just now. This was going on last season under Rene. It was exactly the same. There's not really much different. I don't see a lot of difference. In fact, even if we go back to Jonas, as I said before, I don't really think there's a lot of difference now looking at this team to looking at it was under Jonas. Jonas won a couple of cups as well. And you could say he got lucky, won a couple of cups. Yeah. Okay, the Champions League's not on the same level as the Continental Cup or the Subway Cup as it's now called. Of course it isn't. And you can't compare it. But ultimately, Jonas won 2 cups, didn't do particularly well in the other competitions, although he reached the Champions League semi-final. Rene has done pretty average in the other competitions, not been great in the WSL really, and managed to win the Champions League. I'm not sure. Chelsea lost Emma Hayes, and they went out and got the best manager that there was available, and went and got Sonia Bonpasta, right? And look what they've done on the back of that. We lost Jonas. We had an opportunity. We said this on the show. We had an opportunity to go out and get a top manager, and we didn't. We got Jonas as assistant, and now suddenly everyone's surprised. Why are we looking so poor? Why are we looking like we did last year? Is it really a surprise? And we've got Jonas as assistant, who was basically is still using a lot of Jonas's ideas. So I don't know. I'm not sure if this was the right decision by the club. And the Champions League, what the Champions League is going to be, whether it's the right or wrong decision long term, it's not going to be changed now, because she's won the Champions League and that's given her time. She can do whatever she wants now for the next 2 or 3 years. A bit like Arteta in the men's team. She can do whatever she likes. She's almost untouchable now because of what she's won. And that's never a good position for a manager to be in. I think managers need to be under pressure. Managers need to be under pressure for their job, because it means they've got to keep getting results. And if it means you've got to think, well, okay, all I need to do is win this game, forget our principles, how we want to play football, just win this game. And when you've got that pressure to win the game, I think that actually helps you to get the right results. At the moment, it seems that we've got no pressure to win the games. I almost felt that the interview after the Man City game from Rene was like, oh, it doesn't matter. We've got Champions League Tuesday. That's all right. That's the impression I got. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute. You've just thrown away 3 points. You've basically gifted the title to Chelsea again. And now you're saying, oh, it doesn't matter because we've got the Champions League, which we got lucky in last season. I just can't understand that attitude. To me, it's almost like, I don't know, I'm starting to really dislike Rene. I'm disliking her interviews. I'm disliking her attitude. I'm disliking the job she's doing with the team on the pitch. And I don't want to feel like that, because, you know, she did such a great thing last season, achieved such a great thing last season, but that was only on the back of 3 games. The quarterfinal second leg, the semi-final second leg, and the final. 3 games out of however many she had in charge last season. And she's managed to make herself invincible on the back of those 3 performances. You know, I don't know. I'm just really losing faith in the manager. I've got to be honest. I'm completely losing faith in her. Every decision that she makes seems to be wrong. She made the team changes against Man City that she should have made against Lyon, and she made the changes against Lyon that she should have made against Manchester City. That's just really poor management. That's just poor. We could all see it. Like you said, Katie McCabe shouldn't have played against Man City, should have played against Lyon. There's no question about that. Taylor Hines was terrible against Lyon, right? Katie McCabe would have been a better bet in that game. There's no question. Her experience at that level, that's what should have happened. And she should have played Taylor Hines against Man City again. It would have probably suited her better. But that's what we could see. We saw this before her, and yet she's a manager, and she's making these poor team selections. And the Katie Reid one is, you know, that was a terrible decision. And what she should have done is rested Katie Reid against Lyon. That would have been a better option, because Katie Reid doesn't have the experience against top Champions League teams yet. And she had a poor game. There's no question. She made mistakes in that game that cost us, right? But to me, that's on the manager. The 19-year-old defender who's been brilliant in WSL should have played against Man City, rested her against Lyon. That was the right way to do it, as was some of the other changes. And I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. LG says, you almost scared me with the thumbnail. I really thought Jonas was back. It feels like he is. Watching the team, it feels like he is back. And he might as well be back, for all I can see, because nothing's really changed. 170 Gunners with us. Hey there, my friend. Good to see you. Collins says, good evening, Richard Andreas. Hey there, my friend. Hope you're well. LG says, one big difference is that last season teams played a mid-low block against us, which allowed us to have the ball. But this season, they press really high. That's why we're making defensive errors. Well, yes, I kind of agree with that. I think that's true to a certain extent, but we've got to then surely be better. We can't keep falling into the traps every single game. we can't keep. I mean, some of those errors haven't been down to being pressed. Some of them have, but Daphne, for example, in goal, she's made some horrendous errors, and that's not down to her being pressed, is it? It's just down to an individual mistakes. Katie Reid with that penalty against London City, that was just literally down to one individual mistake. She wasn't pressed for the ball; she just made a rash decision. Last night, Katie Reid's header, she wasn't being pressed under pressure. It was just a poor decision, and this is more the issue for me: poor decision making in defensive areas in particular, but throughout the team, not getting the balance right. And Andreas is absolutely right about changing the wide players every single game. There's no relationships there. Leslie Russo isn't getting the same consistency of deliveries into the box. He doesn't know whether she's coming or going. She's having to get herself out of the position she needs to be in because she wants to try and get on the ball, link up play, which she's very good at, and she drifts wide. But there were so many times in the City game as well, a cross comes in, nobody's there because Leslie Russo's out wide or she's deeper. It's like, think about it. Do you know what I mean? If Leslie's not going to be in the box, someone else needs to get into the box. Frida Marnham, she makes those runs into the box. She was on the bench. I just don't understand. The way we're playing doesn't seem to match the players that are on the pitch. And then suddenly she panics, makes all these substitutions because it's worked before without any plan. Oh, let's just get all the subs on. Let's get them all on. There's no plan behind it. It just doesn't make any sense. None of it is making sense. And the Man City game summed it up. That game was, I said we did play some good football at times and we scored some great goals, but it was like we didn't look like we had a plan. We just looked like we was all over the place. We were running around like headless chickens half the time, making stupid mistakes defensively, getting overrun in midfield and not creating enough good opportunities. We got 2 goals out of the blue, really. One was a really good move, actually, and Mariona for the first goal, fantastic. And the second one was just a moment of brilliance from Chloe Kelly. Obviously, he had a bit of a point to prove in that game, I think, you could tell. But other than that, we didn't create lots and lots of opportunity. I mean, yes, Stina came on and missed a couple, and I know everyone's going to criticise her for that, but she's not playing. What do you expect her to do? She's sitting on the bench for 70 minutes every week, and suddenly you expect her to come on and score every chance she gets. No, Leslie Russo's missing several chances every week. No one says a word. But anyway, that's maybe a different story. But I don't know. I didn't like the Man City performance at all. I don't like the way we're playing, and this is sort of too often. And it's really been all season. West Ham, for 20 minutes we were terrible, 1-0 down, terrible. London City Lionesses for 20 minutes we were terrible, 1-0 down. Could have lost both of those games. Since then, we haven't won. Man United away was a tight game. Either way could have gone maybe. Villa, we know, was terrible. City was terrible. And I don't know where this team's heading. I don't know what direction this season's going in. At the moment, it looks as though it's only going one way. And unfortunately, it's the wrong way. I mean, Andreas, I know you're right. We shouldn't really necessarily, and Renee's still a young manager. She's only been in the job a year. She has won the Champions League. Fantastic. But are you starting to think that she may not be the right long-term choice?
I'm starting to think, yes, because at the moment it's like a blueprint of what we were playing under Jonas. It looks very similar, and our new problem is if the opponents are playing a high press and pressing us in the build-up at our box. Then we make mistakes. We make mistakes under pressure, and we are not pressing them. We allow our opponents to build up slowly from the back, and we are waiting. We are waiting at in the midfield what they are doing instead of pressing, and and strange thing is we make mistakes in defense, as I said, when we get pressed, but we have no control in midfield. In long periods of the games, we lose the control. Even against LCL or West Ham, we lost control over the midfield, and by this we open up the game for the opponents, and we don't create enough. The one player who is always trying to bring crosses in is Chloe Kelly. Okay, she was injured, she had a knock. But then why not starting her and saying, let's start with a flow and bring the crosses in. Let's score first, and then if Chloe is not fit to go 90 minutes, then sub her after 65 minutes, and not bring her on in the 70th minute and say and now change the game. Of course, she nearly changed the game at Man City. Pure will. She wanted to score. She wants wanted to prove something, and it was a fantastic goal. But this was both our goals away at City were individual quality, not combination, not a brilliant build-up play that you say, oh, fantastic, what we played, and this is the Arsenal way. No, it was individual quality from Mariana, from Chloe. That's not enough. There is no real system that you can see, this is the way we want to play, we want to control it. Too often we are playing backwards, one pass in midfield, another pass in midfield, no space, no movement, then back to the center backs, back to the goalkeeper. And then Daphne has the problem. Where to play the ball? Then she plays long, and we lose the ball in midfield, as we don't have control there. At the moment, it's not looking very good. Of course, the situation for the team has changed because every opponent says, this is the Champions League winners. We want to get something against the best team in Europe. We weren't the best team in Europe. We won the Champions League, yes, but everybody is extra motivated against us. And yeah, you can see that they try, and it looks as if all the other managers have realized what to do against us, and that Arsenal hates to be pressed when trying to play from the back. And let's press Arsenal. They are making mistakes, and if we take our chance, these 1-2 chances they offer us, and score, then we can take something against Arsenal. We can take something out of this game. And it looks as if everybody knows how to play against us. They know which players are in the lineup and what to do to hurt us. And at the moment, Renee offers no solution. And of course, what she has changed is the players seem to play with more freedom, or they seem to be happier on the pitch. But I remember one sentence from Renee last season when she said, it's not enough that the players are smiling on the pitch. They have to score goals, or they have to bring the best out of them. And at the moment, I think with the results, the players aren't happy, and so there's no smiling and no output from the team. And at the moment, I'd say now Brighton on the weekend, then away at Lisbon. Let's lose both, and then it's international break. I don't think that Renee will survive the international break if we lose both games. So the pressure is really high, and she has to find solutions and to prove that she's the right for this position. 2 difficult games ahead.
I mean, I don't think even if we lost the 2 games that Saka. Honestly, I don't. Would she walk away? I don't know. I don't think she would. I honestly don't. But anyway, I mean, what happens? Hopefully, we won't lose the next 2 games, because that would be a bit of a disaster.
Richard, do you have problems with your system, or is it me? Is it my computer? I can see you frozen and can't hear you. So I don't know. Does anybody see me or hear anything? Oh, Richard is gone again. So it looks as if it's his system that makes problems. Yeah, we talked about the Man City game and the disappointment. Once again, if you have 2-2 after 85, 86 minutes, then bring it home, bring 1 point home, and defend properly. So it was really disappointing to lose all 3 points at City. And Richard is back. Welcome.
I don't know what's happening with me there, with me camera. It just seems to be cutting out for no reason. But anyway, I'm sure we'll survive. But no, you're right. I mean, when we got it back to 2-2, that should have been the least we came away with from that game. Should have been the least that we came away with when we got it back to. We should have left with at least a point. And yes, okay, you want to try and win a game, of course you do. And I don't know. I didn't think it was because we didn't lose that game because we overcommitted bodies forward to try and win it. We lost the game because we made some stupid mistakes throughout the game, really. But anyway, we've got let's have a look. We've got some more comments here. Jimmy says it's not like getting blown out. A few mistakes have been the downfall. No, you're right. It is mistakes, but they're mistakes that's happening time and time again, aren't they? Matty says, hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Well, I'm doing well. The camera doesn't seem to be. LG says, it almost seems like substitutions are preset. We all know that our wingers are going to be substituted on 60 minutes, no matter the game state. Yeah, it seems to be like that. Yeah, we're becoming very predictable, aren't we? LG says that Taylor Hines shouldn't have played against Villa. Should have played against Villa. Oh, yeah, and Mariona should have rested against Villa. If you wanted to play Lotta against City, she should have started her against Villa too. Absolutely, yeah. I agree with that, yeah. You can't just throw a player in a game like that. Vicky says there, Katie McCabe was dropped because she was poor against Man United and Man City. I don't know. I wouldn't say she was dropped. I think she was rested because she played every game, but I don't know. Matthew says there, like I said, they got Smith and thought that was it. We need younger and more physical players. Yeah, we do. More physical. We'll come on to that against Leon, actually. Greg says there, she's making too many changes every game. Last year, she kept a settled side. Yeah, that's probably not necessarily untrue. Where are we on here? Where are we? Oh my days, what is going?
Yeah. Richard's problems continue. I think he's frozen again. Do you think Arsenal is not a serious club? Well, we are a serious club. We won the Champions League. We made some business. We made a £1 million signing with Olivia Smith, but at the moment it doesn't gel together. And yeah, okay, up to you again.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, my laptop is knackered, to be fair. I don't know if that's the reason, but anyway, where are we? I'm going to go back on some of the comments that we haven't managed to get through yet. It's YouTube censors our free speech says let's not dilute Renee's achievement, but for the first time the pressure is on her leadership. Yeah, you probably. I don't want to dismiss what she's done, but it's all about the future. At the moment, the future doesn't look great, does it? YouTube Sense Free Speech says, I keep saying that Arsenal need to buy some female players from Mexico and Brazil, some great female players in those leagues just waiting to be found. Yeah, maybe. I mean, you maybe know those leagues a bit better. Greg says, we are paying for not strengthening our midfield. We need better than Marnham and Pilova. And also, as it's mentioned before, the centre-backs, you know, although Katie Reed's been playing well and Steph Catley's been playing well, that isn't the centre-backs of a European Championship winning, European Cup winning team, is it? Let's be honest. It's not a great centre-back partnership. They've done okay. Vicky says there, on a positive note, we scored a great goal against Leon. Yeah, we did, but unfortunately that was about the only highlight. LG says, in hindsight, our problems really started in the Villa, Brighton back-to-back games. You can't be doing that if you want to compete for multiple competitions. Well, yeah, I mean, I can understand why in a way, because the league was gone. It was just a matter. We'd already qualified for the Champions League. It was looking ahead to the Champions League final. I could kind of understand that, but yeah, we shouldn't have played like we did. Colin says, one great strike in her first match does not justify a £1 million transfer fee. She's not done enough. I agree yet. She's had moments. Greg says we're light in midfield. Absolutely. Colin says Daphne and Mariona need a rest. Oh, hang on, we can get that comment up. Where's it gone? Where are we? Greg said midfield. They went totally missing against Leon. They did. Jimmy says Sleggers is messing with Richard's computer. Yeah, maybe she is. She doesn't want me live. Well, not so nice things about. Matty says we sort of lost me here and there. Matthew says when Little plays forward, we look good, but most of the time she plays backwards. Yeah, absolutely right. LG says, always trying to look for the perfect goal. That's why we've been struggling. Even Olivia Smith seems like she's being programmed like a robot and restrained from her natural chaotic self. Yeah, it seems to be. She hasn't done that first game. She doesn't seem to have played like that again, does she? Unfortunately, for whatever reason, I don't know. Matty says, we've been found out and Sleggers is afraid to make a change. Mikel Arteta mindset. Yeah, she's been reminding me a little bit too much of Mikel Arteta, actually. Matthew says control also comes down to player ability. We need players who can take on and carry the ball forward. Well, yeah, but I don't know if they're encouraged to do that enough. Denise says Leon's second goal, 3 Arsenal players around the goal scorer just stood. Why was he? Because we'll come on to the Leon game in a minute. You're right about that, absolutely. 170 Gunner says Little is our best player. Well, I don't know about our best player, but she's still doing a decent job most of the time. Matty says agrees with Andreas, absolutely. Matthew says make sure Mariona is in the 10 and have KCC and Palova behind her. Little should be sub now. We need energy and engines. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that either, really. Matty says they're also bringing KCC on at 2-1 down after she had 0 minutes of regular football makes no sense. Sleggers is losing it. Yeah, I kind of agree she is losing it. But anyway, look, I mean, Man City was bad. I think it was bad. We should when we got it back to 2-2, I expected us to get something from that game. A draw would have been okay, as you said, a draw in the circumstances, being 1-0 down, 2-1 down, to get a 2-2 draw. Yeah, you'll take that. Man City away, great. But to lose that game in the way that we did just was not acceptable, really, at all. You know, I say you can lose to Man City; they're a good team, but not with the goals that we conceded. It's just terrible. And you know, I think we were all after Man City. We're all obviously looking forward to the Lyon game. Champions League was back. We know what a great game we had against Lyon last time we played them in the semi-final, especially away, and it was an opportunity to maybe forget the couple of weeks of struggles in the WSL, concentrate on a new competition. But again, terrible mistakes. I mean, honestly, I don't really know what to say about this game. And I know I've seen the interviews with some of the players and the manager. I've seen comments online, and a lot of people seem to be okay with the performance. I thought it was terrible. I thought Lyon were leagues above us. They could and should have won that game by 5 or 6 goals. They were that much better than us on the night. We just didn't compete at all. They were more physical than us. They were more tactically switched on. They had players who were just better than our players almost in every position across the pitch. And yes, you could look at the goals and say we gifted them both their goals, and we did. I mean, what Daphne was doing for the first goal, I do not know. I've seen it 4 or 5 times. Cannot get my head around what she was thinking. And even the second goal, the throw out to Mariona, put Mariona under pressure straight away. She should have been better, Mariona, and gave the ball away. But even then, Katie Reid, why did she head it there? So I mean, she had so much time. Head it back to the goalkeeper. Head it to Steph, who was right next to her. But she headed it straight to Dumornay, and you know, a player of that quality isn't going to miss opportunities like that gifted to her. You know, and we found ourselves 2-1 down, and after that, I never felt at any point did I feel we were going to not lose that game. We just lacked ideas. Physically, we were nowhere near them. It was almost like when we played Chelsea a few times, they just bullied us off the pitch. And that's what Lyon did. They bullied us everywhere. They just absolutely came and bullied. And I'll say the 2-1 scoreline, if anything, flattered us, because Lyon could and should have won that game a lot. Yes, Daphne made up for her mistakes with some good saves actually in the end and kept the score down. And it could have been a lot worse. It should have been a lot worse. And I'm not interested in people saying, oh, well, you know, we played okay at spells in the game. We got overrun. Okay, yeah, they're one of the best teams in Europe. They may well win the Champions League this year. They're good enough. Look at the players they've got. But you've got to try and compete with them. You've got to compete with them. And we just didn't. Yes, we scored a great goal at the beginning of the game. Brilliant. Beth Mead, unbelievable. What a finish from Letty with her left foot across the keeper. Fantastic. But then after that, Lyon were like, okay, we know what we need to do. And they just responded to that goal brilliantly. And if we hadn't gifted them 2 goals, I have absolutely no doubt they would have scored 2 goals in their own, or 3 or 4. Definitely they would have done, because they were just so so far ahead of us. It was almost men against boys, if you like. That's what it looked like. It was I don't know. It's not often you watch an Arsenal team get completely battered in that fashion. I mean, yes, Chelsea have done it to us a couple of times. It's not often, is it, that happens, ever. And I mean, Barcelona did it to us, didn't they, a couple of years ago in the Champions League twice, when they were much better than us. And that's what that game reminded me of a little bit, actually. It just reminded me of playing against a team that was just miles better than us. And we got what we deserved from the game, which was absolutely nothing. Where are we on here? Have we gone again? I don't know what's going on with this stupid computer tonight. It's just not having it at all, is it? I don't know what it's doing. Are we back? I don't know what's going on with this computer tonight. It's just doing me head in now. LG says they're winning the Champions League made us keep players we should have let go. Now we're paying for it. Beth should have left, in my opinion, and Stina. We have a habit of keeping players too long. Well, I kind of agree with you to a certain degree. I don't really agree with Beth and picking on Beth and Stina particularly. I mean, I think Beth's still doing a decent job. I think she's still a good player. And Stina, if she's used properly, will score loads of goals, but she's not being used properly. That's not her fault. I would rather get rid of the manager than get rid of Stina, if I'm totally honest. But anyway, that's another story. Matthew says nothing was okay with the Lyon game. We were battered. Yeah, we were absolutely battered. Yeah. To be fair, we've battered them as well, but we weren't switched on. It's always who is more up for it in sport. Yeah, absolutely right. I think you're right. And I mean, I won't say we wasn't up for it. We were just beaten by a much better team on the night. And, it is what it is. I mean, Andreas, what did you make of that Lyon game? Because apart from your vlog, which was fantastic, there wasn't anything positive I could really take from that game.
Well, we can take the first 10 minutes. We started well in this game and we scored a fantastic goal. This was a really good start, and you should build upon this good start. This should have given the team self-confidence. But to the contrary, Lyon came back into the game after we were 1-0 up. And of course, the mistake that led to the equalizer was terrible, and not to understand what happened. And for the second goal, I wouldn't blame Daphne for the second, because when she threw the ball to Mariona, there was no Lyon player besides Mariona. It was Mariona's fault not to see that there is a Lyon player coming and getting the pressure on her. And then, as you said, the header from Katie Reed was not good. And but after this second goal from Lyon, I was looking on my watch and thought, if we can go to halftime with only 2-1 down, that would be great. I hope they will not score more. And there were parts in the second half when I thought again, let's keep us 2-1. It's okay. Because they were physically all over us and dominating the midfield. It was for longer parts of the second half, we didn't come near their box because we lost too easily every ball in midfield. Playing from the back and then a long ball in midfield, lost. And then Lyon coming again. But physically they were much better than we, but didn't we know that before, that we are coming against a team with a strong physicality and physical approach? Didn't we prepare in training for this? These are questions. And the other thing, what we said a few weeks ago, we didn't do enough in the transfer business in summer, in a window when we were the Champions League, the title holders, every good player would have at least thought about if there was an approach from Arsenal. Every good player would have thought, should I go to Arsenal? They are Champions League winners. But we signed Olivia Smith, we signed Chloe Kelly permanently, and we were satisfied with this. We should have done more, and once again, this keeping players too long. I have to look at Chelsea again and just ask, what about Maren Mjelde or Jisoo Yoon or Frank Kirby? Are they still at Chelsea? They were brilliant in the past. They won everything with Chelsea. And where are they now? Chelsea is ruthless and says, yeah, it's the past. They were winners in the past, but now we knew fresh blood and we knew hungry new players. And we are keeping our players comfortable for too long. And that's also a problem. Of course, I don't want to lose Beth Mead or Katie McCabe or Lotta. You love these players who are so long at the club, and you have built a relationship to them. Not to misunderstand the relationship, but you love these players in the red and white. But that doesn't guarantee, let's say different. Success from the past doesn't guarantee success in the future, and you have to be ruthless. Also ruthless in the transfer market, and I think we haven't done enough, and now we are paying the price for this. Our midfield is not competitive at the highest level of WSL games, and of course absolutely not competitive in Europe. As much as we love also players like Vicky Pelova or Kyra, we are not competitive against teams like Lyon and Barcelona. Look what Lyon did as business. They had a very good team, and for me, although we won the Champions League, for me Barcelona was the best and Lyon the second best team in Europe. But they said, we were out in semifinals, we have to strengthen our squad, and then we have to attack again, and we want to win the Champions League. And we said, we won the Champions League. Let's keep our squad, and let's continue the way we did. Not good enough.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And you look at our squad, and although we've got some very, very good players, you look at our squad, and then you look at the other teams that we're competing against in the Champions League in particular, the teams at the top end. We're nowhere near. We are nowhere near. And I think you're right about, what Chelsea did. They got rid of a lot of their established players. And one of the reasons why they did that is because they got a manager from outside the club who didn't have that same connection with the players and had no problem getting rid of them and replacing them. And we've kept a manager that was already inside the club and already had relationships with the players. And that makes it so much harder. And, that's a lesson that we should have learned from when we're back. No, we're not back.
Yeah, you're back. Can hear you again.
Are we back? Are we back?
Your computer is on the same level performing as our team.
I'm back. Is it back? I don't think it is. It seems to be. It definitely seems. I had this problem the other night when the game was on. Exactly the same. Not sure what's happening. Just needs to be thrown in the bin. Oh, we back? Oh, we might be back actually. I don't know what's going on with this stupid thing. But yeah, I think when you bring a manager in from outside the club, they don't have that connection with the players, and that's maybe what we needed to do. We maybe needed to do that and almost start afresh, because we have got a lot of players that are in towards the end of their careers. They're not, they're getting towards the 30s. Some of them are in their 30s, and I think that maybe we needed a complete reset. And we wasn't far away from having big success under Jonas. Whatever people thought of him, we were 1 point away from winning the WSL in his first season. We reached the Champions League semi-final with half our team injured, and we was unlucky not to go on and reach the final that year. We won 2 cup finals, and yes, it started to go wrong a bit towards the end, but we was quite close to achieving some big success. And Renee's coming with the same, with basically the same group of players. And yes, she had some great success as well straight away. But I don't know. I think we should have reset completely. And yeah, we should have rejigged the squad. And I don't think, as much as we love these players, and you're right, there's so many players that, are Arsenal legends, aren't they? That's still here. But at some point we've got to move forward from that, and we've got to move on to the next level. And if we want to compete with the likes of Lyon, if we want to compete with the likes of Barcelona on a regular basis, yes, we can beat them in a one-off game. We beat Lyon in a one-off game. We beat Barcelona in a one-off game. We can do that. Of course we can. We've beaten Chelsea in one-off games a few times. But if you're going to compete with them on a consistent basis, season after season, and win the trophies against them, we need better players than what we've got. We do. And I think we need a better manager as well. But it is what it is at the minute, and I don't know. I can't honestly see how things are going to change. But let's see what happens. We've got loads of comments. Actually, I keep missing them because I keep going on. Vicky says Rolfo's in her twilight years. Well, yeah, she is, but she's a good player actually. Where are we going now? I've gone to the bottom. Average height of Lyon 5'8". Average height of Arsenal 5'6". Well, yeah, so they had a height advantage. I mean, they certainly did it at the back, didn't they? Every single cross that went in, either Wendy Reynard or that other one playing next to her, just won all the headers, just headed everything away. We didn't get near them, did we? Not once. I think we won one header all night. LG says their Lotter is a mid-table defender, not good enough for a top club. Sorry, guys, but I'm being real. I kind of get where you're coming from, and I wouldn't necessarily disagree with you. The fact that she can't even get a game in the Lionesses squad when half the defenders were out injured, and she still was sitting on the bench, kind of suggests that you're right. And we love Lotta, and you're right. She's a great role model for women's football. She's been a fantastic role model for Arsenal, and she's a great person. But we need to sometimes put sentiment to one side and say, we want players who are going to take us to the next level now. We've just won the Champions League. Whether we were fortunate or not, it's irrelevant. We've won the Champions League. We've got to move to that next level. And we haven't done that. We've stayed still. And staying still in football is going backwards. And that's what we've done. And it's not, and it's not going to change. We can't bring any more players into January anyway. And I don't necessarily think that's the answer. We've got a good enough squad to be playing better than we are at the moment. And so that isn't down to the transfer window necessarily. But I don't know. I don't know. Things need to change for me. For goodness sake. This is so not good at all, is it?
Yeah. There are some players only sitting on the bench. It's like Lotta, like Laya Codina, Kyra, and not to speak about Jenna Neiswanger. So many players didn't get minutes, and if you think they are not good enough to play them, then why do we still keep them? And I know Chelsea has only played 1-1 against 20. That's not a good result. But once again, there are players like Brighton or Sam Kerr who had brilliant success with the team, and they are sitting on the bench. Sam Kerr is fit again after her long time injury, but who is playing? Aggie Beaver-Jones at 21. I think she's 21 or 22 year young striker who is better at the moment, and she's playing. And And Guro Brighton, she scored so many goals. She's sitting on the bench. They brought Ashley. This Alicia Thompson from the US, and don't they have Lucy Bronze in defense? One of the best right backs in women's football. And what did they do? They bought Ellie Carpenter. So once again, they are ruthless, and we aren't. We are too much relying on the past and on our players who did well in the past. And I hope that Richard's system is stable now. I'm talking.
I don't know what's going on. It's a disaster. But yeah, I mean, we need. I think we need a complete reset. I really do. I just can't see how. Looking at the group of players that we've got, looking at the limitations of the manager and the coaching staff, I just feel as though we're going to plod along the rest of this season. We'll probably have some decent performances. We'll probably score some great goals. We'll win a lot of games against the mediocre teams, I'm sure. But when it comes down to it, we're going to fall short of the big trophies. You know, we're not going to win the WSL. Absolutely no chance. I'll be amazed if we win the Champions League. Yes, okay, look at the start we had last season and where we finished. But is that going to happen 2 years running? I would say probably not. So I don't know. I'm just not seeing too much to be optimistic about. I've got to be honest. I just really not. It's the same mistakes, the same changes, the same lack of ideas, the same. The balance in midfield's wrong. Game after game after game, it's not getting changed. And yes, as I said, the transfer window isn't necessarily just the answer. Yes, we need some better players, but with the squad that we've got, we should be playing better than we are. We should be doing better than we are with the players we've got already. And that's we could buy all the players in the world, but if they're not coached properly, if the team isn't managed properly, you're not going to get the right results. You know, and that's something to me that's a bigger issue at the moment. Yes, we could do with some better players. Of course we could. We could have had a better transfer window, and we need a big January probably to try and salvage something from the season. But unless we're going to get more out of the players that we've got now, it's almost like, what's the point of us spending £1 million on a player if we can't get the best out of them? We can't get the best out of her. We haven't done so far. Yes, it's still early days. She's settling in, but I don't know. I'm worried, I must admit. Joe says Jenna Knight-Swanger is an insult, can't make the bench, and she's a Renee signing. Well, you say she's a Renee signing. She was signed when Renee was manager. I'm not sure if she's a Renee signing, because I think if she was, she'd be playing, and she's not. So obviously she's not a Renee signing, is she? Jimmy says, if I can get it on the screen. Oh, that's how I've gone off again, haven't I?
Yes, Lyon made some changes from last year. They strengthened their squad. They bought Katoto from Paris, and for the defense, Tatiane, who is a very good addition to Wendy Renard, also a very tall player. And yeah, they did something to strengthen their squad, because they were not satisfied with only winning the French league and reaching the semifinals. And yeah, that's what we missed in summer, I think. But now it is like it is, and we have to deal with the squad, and it's about the manager and the coaching staff to bring the best out of the players. And we said it last year. We were in the same position, 8 points after 5 games, on 5th place. We lost the first game in the Champions League, and we said Jonas has lost the dressing room, or he's not able to bring the best out of the players. And the question now is Renee able to bring the best out of this squad? I mean, we have quality players. We signed Olivia Smith and Chloe Kelly, and yeah, we are not playing them constantly. For me, this would be our wingers, our starting wingers, Olivia and Chloe, and yeah, and then tell Leslie to be in the box, and then serve her, give her crosses and the better service that Leslie don't have to drop deep and to be involved in the game. She must be in the box, and then she must get the service, the crosses, and then she will score. But our midfield is a big problem, because I think we didn't have control over the midfield in not against United, not against City, not against Lyon, and as I said, we lost control in midfield even against West Ham and LCL, and that's a real problem. We didn't find the best lineup for the midfield, and I agree. Kim Little so far had a good season, but even if you don't doubt playing Kim every game, we are running her into injuries. If she's playing every game 80 or 90 minutes, just wait for 3-4 more weeks and she'll get an injury, because she's overplayed. And others who aren't getting chances and are never playing, and then you throw them in and say, like Kyra in this, I think the 73rd or 75th minute against Lyon, and you say, now you haven't played so far, but now change the game. That doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got to utilize your squad, but you've got to do it in the right way. It's no good just making the same 2 or 3 changes every game, and then, like you said, having players sitting on the bench week after week after week, and then expect them to come in straight away and do a job. It's the same with Stina sitting on the bench for 70 minutes every week, and then throwing her on and thinking she can get us out of jail every single game. It's not going to happen. She'll do it occasionally, of course she will, and she's done it plenty of times, but you can't expect that to keep happening. Players have got to play, and they've got to play regularly to be up to the speed of the game, especially in the big games against the top teams. That's why throwing Lotta in against Man City was such a strange decision, and throwing Taylor Hines in against Lyon was such a strange decision when they've hardly really played many minutes. I just think that, we've mentioned Jenna Nice-Wong, and no one knows what's going on with that situation. It's just ridiculous. I cannot understand what that is all about. I mean, how she's still here, I do not know. I mean, she must be so frustrated that she's not on the pitch at all. I mean, I don't know how many minutes she's played since she's been here in January, but it can't be much. She started 1 game, I think it was, and that was out of position in midfield, wasn't it? And that's the only game that she started, and she's come on maybe twice. I think that's it. Jimmy says that I think Kelly and Smith have been very aggressive, showed some passion to be first to the ball. Yeah, I think they have, but it's not enough, is it? Greg says that's the problem. We sign players in the same position. Unless we get free transfers, we don't sign anyone. 1 player for $1 million doesn't improve the team. Well, it can do, I suppose, but yeah, you're better off getting in 3 or 4 really good squad players rather than 1 player you're paying £1 million for, I suppose. Is what you're looking at, isn't it?
Yeah. Are you with us, Richard? We can't hear you.
I don't know what's happening. I even restarted the computer a minute ago. It's made no difference. Let's see what I'm going to do.
Yeah. I mean, this is the decisive question. Who would we want to let go, and who do you want us to sign? But it won't happen in the winter transfer window. It's and it's not done in one window. I think the whole team needs a general overhaul and a general change. And there are a lot of contracts running out next summer, so the face of the team will change definitely, but at the moment, that I think if we knew what to do and sign this player and this and let this one go, so then we should be in charge as managers. I don't have the solution. I think we made a mistake of letting Wally go and not have direct successor for her. We were in negotiations with Juve for many weeks, and until we let her go on the last 2 days of the transfer window, but we couldn't sign somebody as a holding midfielder, and this we would need this. We would need a quality holding midfielder. This would help our defense, and even especially when we are pressed, when we are under pressure, and someone of Wally's quality in her best days, we would need someone as a holding midfielder. As I often said, Mariona and Kim is not the solution as a double pivot on number 6 position. Mariona, for me, needs to play more up front at number 10 or so. And the next question is, are Kyra and Vicky good enough to compete on the highest level? So far, I see the problems in midfield. Also, maybe, Beth so far is playing a good season, but is it good enough? Is Caitlin still good enough? Can we still rely on these elder players? We have so many players around the age of 30 plus, and I think it will need a few transfer windows to change the squad and to bring down the average age of the squad, and that's what is necessary. But we can't solve this in the next weeks, even not in the winter transfer window. And I'm hoping Richard will be back. So Richard, it's your show and your talk. You should talk more as the host of this show, but I'm trying to answer the most important questions. Well, the Lyon game was disappointing, and I think you could see it in my blog how frustrated I was. Once again, another game lost, and after the game thinking the opposition side was better. That's very hard to accept. If you go into a competition that you have won last season, and then you have to say, we were lucky to lose only 2-1, and to be honest, Lyon deserved to win. I don't like this, but too often it happened in the last weeks.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
What I've done is I've had to come on my phone because this laptop is it's just not. I don't know what it's doing. It's just completely give up the ghost. I'm going to try and see if I can get back on it again, but it's not looking good. I don't know what
up to Chelsea to weaken them.
Yeah, well, maybe that's what I need to do. Yeah, I need to do something with it. Throw it out the window. I think it's probably the best bet. I'm going to see if I can get back on the computer again. I've restarted it again. I don't know whether or not it's going to work this time. But
now we can see you, we can hear you, and all sounds better.
Yeah, but my phone will run out of power in a minute, I would have thought. I'm going to give it one more try. And if it doesn't work on the laptop now, then I'm going to just use the phone and give up on the laptop completely. But we'll give it a try, one more try, because I've restarted it, and maybe that's the answer. So we'll see.
And if it doesn't work, you have a plan B. What when you didn't have in the last games?
Right. So is that working now? Am I working?
Okay.
Oh, right. Okay, good. Well, we make the most of it while we can, shall we? Because it might not last very long. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think Arsenal have got the same problems that my laptop's got at the minute, not functioning properly. Keeps breaking down and, making life a lot more difficult than it needs to be.
Not good.
Does the manager ever say in the recruiting process? Well, I would hope so. You'd hope so, wouldn't you? But who knows? Greg says after winning the hang on, what's this here? I just had a notification come up. Oh right, okay.
Yeah, that's what we said already.
Hang on, what's that comment saying? Let me go back to it because I can't read it now because it's got stuck. After winning the Champions League, we should have gone out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, improve the team. Exactly. Yeah, that's what we should have done, and it doesn't feel like we've done that, does it? It just doesn't feel like that's what we've done. Vicky says Marion's our best player, but she did not have a good Euros, and she's not at her level so far this season. No, she's not, and that makes a difference as well. When your best player is having a bad time of it, it's going to affect the team as well, isn't it? So that's something we need to look at as well. Figure out how to get Mariona back firing again. Is it because of Leah Volti going? Who knows? Is it connected to that? Wayne says we should have freshened up the forward line with Michelle Adjumang, more pace and power. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Because obviously Michelle Adjumang is going to be a topic of conversation, I'm sure, for the game at the weekend, because obviously she's on loan at Brighton, and it is Brighton, of course, who we're playing. So why don't we actually have a look into that while we're still here? Now, of course, she's on loan, so I don't think she's going to be able to play at the weekend against us, Michelle, which is probably a good thing the way we're playing and gifting goals to everybody. She's bound to score against us. But I must admit, usually I like to try and be optimistic and think, it's another game. We should be too good for most teams in the WSL. We should win. But the form we've been on, the way we've been playing, I'm finding it difficult to think how we can win this game, how we can win any game at the minute. I mean, Brighton at home, usually you'd say, right, that's a home banker. A home banker against Brighton. I think we've beaten them every single season at home since every time we played them. And usually that's what you'd think. And normally I'll be saying, oh, yeah, we'll probably win 3 or 4-0, no problem. Maybe 3 or 4-1 this season because of goals we're conceding. But you'd expect us to win. But I've got to be honest. I honestly, at this moment in time, I'm not sure we'll even win this game. I'm really not sure we'll even win this game. Brighton are a good side. They've got some good players. They've had a fairly good start to the season as well. They're doing well, aren't they? So I don't know. It's this is going to be more of a difficult game than ordinarily it would have been. I'll say most other seasons we'd have probably cruised this no problem, but I'm a little bit concerned about this game. I mean, Andreas, what are your thoughts ahead of this one then? Obviously, it's going to be difficult, isn't it? And it's so important now. If we don't win on Sunday, then it's a real big problem, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just checking Brighton's squad. The name that stands out is, of course, Fran Kirby, and I'm very happy that Michelle is not allowed to play and Rosa Kafaji is not allowed to play against us, because they both would have something to prove against us. So that's good. Yeah, they have Jelena Jankovic, who was former Chelsea player. Fran Kirby, as I said. Then it's not that. Melis Mpome in defense. She also came from Chelsea, but it's not a threatening squad. We should be able to beat them, but at the moment, in the position we are, it's a must-win. And of course, Brighton also knows this. They know Arsenal must win this game, and why shouldn't they hurt us with pressing and some quick counter-attacks? And remember, last season they were not playing a deep defense or parking the bus. They were trying to get an open game and play forward by themselves. So this is dangerous if they are trying to press us like the both Manchester teams did or Lyon did. Then we will get problems. And I don't want to think about if Brighton scores the first goal and we are 1-0 down. I don't think we can turn around such a game at the moment, at the mental position we are. So let's hope we score first, and then they are not as strong as Lyon. to come back and we don't give them goals, then we should win. And if you look player by player, then we have the better squad. We will have the better starting 11, more quality in our attacking line, etc. And our midfield should be able to dominate a team like Brighton. Our defense should be able to defend properly against Brighton. But as I said, at the moment, in the position we are, just imagine we lose at home against Brighton. Then it's not that we have to look upon Chelsea. Look at the Manchester teams. Look at Tottenham. They are 4 points clear. It's terrible. Tottenham 4 points clear to us in the WSL. I don't like this. And if we lose to Brighton, then Brighton is also in front of us. It's a very difficult game and a must win. Yeah, my heart says we will win 3-1 as we are the better team, but I'm not really convinced. And it's a draw is hanging over the Emirates on Sunday and could happen. I think if Brighton scores the first goal, then we will lose the game. And I'm flying to London again for the game, and I don't want to fly to London for another defeat and on Monday go to Heathrow with another loss in my mind. No, please, let's get back on winning ways. It's too long ago since we won a game for the last time. When was it? In May in Lisbon that we won? No, we won against West Ham. But it's too long ago, and we need to come back to winning ways for the self-confidence of every player.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think at the moment, obviously, confidence is very, very fragile. And like you said, if Brighton were to take the lead, that would make it a really, really, really tricky game. Absolutely, it would, because I say Brighton aren't a bad side, and confidence does play a big part. And I don't know, I am quite worried about this game, I have to say, just because of the situation that we're in, the way we're playing, and the fact that I don't know, it just concerns me what the team's going to be, what the lineup's going to be. Will Rene panic into making loads of changes because we've lost a couple of games? I really don't know what to expect, actually. I don't know what to expect from the lineup. I don't know what to expect from the performance. It's one of them games where, like, literally anything could happen. Vicky's quite confident. I predict a big win against Brighton, 3 clear goals. Do ya? Wow. I mean, that would be good. That's what we need. But anyway, Colin says, on Sunday, our forward line will be waiting for our first goalkeeping error. Well, maybe. Let's hope not. Greg says, we better win. I'm going to have to get the train home with their 50 supporters.
Yeah,
if they've got 50 supporters. Vicky says Michelle and Rosa can't play and Fran is injured. Oh, well, there you go. That's that would be quite handy, wouldn't it, if that's the case? Greg says, don't panic, we'll win 5-1. Well, you see, on a normal day, I would agree with you, and I would have predicted that myself, but I'm very, very concerned at the moment with the way we're playing. This could be the game that turns it all around, though, couldn't it? Football is a funny sport, isn't it? You know, you're always one defeat away from maybe going into a little bit of a slump, and you're one win away from ending a slump and going into another good run, aren't you? That's sometimes how football works. We've seen it so many times. And I think this game is that. I think we're at that crossroads right now. I think if we perform badly against Brighton and don't win, and heaven forbid we even lose, I think that's going to kickstart a bad kind of reaction going forward. Luckily, there's an international break coming up after the Benfica game, but I would be really worried. Whereas if we beat Brighton, especially if we do maybe settle down and get an early goal and go on and beat them quite comfortably, maybe we do win 5-1, then I think maybe that could then restore a lot of confidence, and I could then see us going on a great run like we did last season, you know, winning 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games in a row. We can't be doing it, but this game could be the key to either of those two things happening. And at this moment in time, I really, really don't know what's going to happen on Sunday. I think we're going to see one of two Arsenals, aren't we? We're either going to see the Arsenal we've seen in the last few weeks, maybe lacking ideas, not creating chances, making mistakes and conceding daft goals, or We're going to maybe see the Arsenal that we saw a lot more last season, where we score 3 or 4 goals one after the other, bang, 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 and the game's done. And it's going to be one of those two we're going to see on Sunday. I don't know which one it's going to be. Honestly, I do not know which one it's going to be. I hope it's going to be the second one, and the one that scores loads of goals and wins the game, but I'm not convinced. Greg says Brighton lost to West Ham the other night. Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, that doesn't necessarily make much difference, does it? We've still got to play our game. Jimmy says Brighton not even close to Man City or Leon. We have this. Well, no, you're right. Of course they're not. They're not nowhere near the level of Brighton and of Man City and Leon. No, they're not. But are they better than Aston Villa? And we struggled against them. Are they? They're that sort of level team, aren't they? They're about an Aston Villa type level. You could say they're better than Aston Villa. You could argue they're better than Aston Villa, and we struggled against Aston Villa and didn't win. So, you know, I don't know really. Anyway, let's see what happens. Matthew says, I'll be watching to see how many unnecessary back passes as opposed to carrying the ball forward. But yeah, exactly. I mean, there'll be a few of them. We could probably lose count. Don't use your fingers because you'll lose count of how many back passes we make, probably. I mean, I don't want to predict anything other than a win because that just seems wrong. So I'm going to predict a win, but it's certainly not going to be easy. I'm going to predict it's going to be. I think it's going to be one of them games when we have to battle it out and we just have to forget nice football, forget scoring brilliant goals. Let's just grind it out and get the win. And I think that's what we're going to have to do. And I think we will in the end. I'm going to predict 2-1. But it's not going to be pretty and it's going to be hard work, but we'll get the job done just because we do have the quality above them. And I think we'll learn the lessons from Villa, particularly, especially if we do go 1-0 up. And I think we'll nick it 2-1. Andreas, what about your score prediction?
Yeah, as I said, I see a 1-1 draw hanging above the Emirates, but I want to be optimistic. And if I let my heart speak, then it's 3-1 to us, and it will be the turnaround for the season. I want it, and I fully believe in the goals. Let's say we win 3-1, and everything turns to the better.
I will go with that. That will do. LG's got 2-1 win. 170 Guns gone 2-1 win. A lot of people thinking 2-1 as well. I'm kind of thinking 2-1. I just think if we were going into this game a bit more confidence, I'd be more confident we'd get a few goals. But the way it's going at the minute, I think we're going to have to scrap it out and we're going to have to just sneak it. Chelsea do it all the time, don't they? They sneak 1-0 wins and 2-1 wins, and they do it all the time. It's what we need to start doing more of. We need to start on Sunday against Brighton, and we need to just win the game. At this point in time, I don't really care too much how we play. Yes, it'd be nice to see a great performance, wouldn't it? It'd be lovely to see some brilliant football. It'd be lovely to see some loads of goals and everything like that. But at this moment in time, we just need to win. We just have to win. No other result is really acceptable on Sunday. We have to win the game, and I don't really care how we do it now. If we have to scrape a 1-0, let's scrape a 1-0, but let's win the game. I think we'll all be a bit worried if we're 1-0 up with 5 minutes to play, like the Villa game. We'd all be a bit worried. So let's hope we've maybe got it sealed a bit earlier. But anyway, Vicky says, time for a clean sheet from David. Well, yeah, a clean sheet would be nice, wouldn't it? We've had one all season, that's it. Matthew thinks we'll get a clean sheet. He's gone 2-0. I mean, Brighton don't score many goals, let's be honest. They're not a team that score goals, are they, generally? They don't score many against us, although they did at the end of last season, but away from home they don't. Yeah. I'm going to say, I'm going to stick with 2-1, but we need to win and we will win and it'll be good. LG says the team badly needs the international break. The Brighton game is too soon. Yeah, we do need the international break, you're right. And it is coming, obviously. This is the last WSL game. Greg says it's about time Arsenal stop saying how they push the game forward and start investing in the team and get us back to being the best. No, you're right. I kind of agree with that. I do think... I mean, rightly so. I think Arsenal we need to blow our own trumpet to a certain degree. We've been the flag bearers, haven't we, for the rise in the crowds in the women's football and the interest in the women's football. We've been at the forefront of that. You know, obviously the Lionesses' successes as well have helped along the way. Of course they have. But we've always been the biggest club, and we've always had that, and we shouldn't lose track of that, and we shouldn't stop celebrating it. But you're right. We need to start saying, right, what's gone in the past has gone. Let's look at the future, how we can be better going forward. We need to find a way to be able to compete with those top teams, with Chelsea and with Lyon, with Barcelona, and we need to be able to do that. And even now, the two Manchester clubs, we need to be able to start competing with them and beating them and winning the big trophies on a more consistent basis like we used to. And yeah, investing in the team is certainly one way to help achieve that. You're absolutely right. And I don't know, my concern is now with the news coming out this week that the club are looking to expand the Emirates and potentially the men will have to play at Wembley. Where does that leave the women's team? Are we going to be back at Meadow Park again for 2 years? Because, there's no way they can move the women's team to Wembley. I just don't think that would work. I don't think we would be able to get big enough crowds on a regular basis to justify playing at Wembley with 90,000 capacity. No, we couldn't do that.
You can't return to Meadow Park. We have 17,500 season ticket holders, and at Meadow Park, you can't even sell 4,000 season tickets at Meadow Park, because that would mean nobody can buy a ticket only for one game. So you can maybe sell 2,500 season tickets. This leaves 15,000 people who have a season ticket without one for at least one season, and a lot of them will turn their back on the club and say, "Oh well, if they don't offer me the chance to have a season ticket, then I won't go there." And yeah, it's impossible. You can't return to Meadow Park. These times are over. But where's the solution? You can't play at Wembley with the women's team. So we would have a problem if we really do this to the Emirates. And I read about £500 million investment for rebuilding the Emirates. This money would be gone, and we can't invest this money in the teams. Another problem.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons why in the men's team in particular we had a big transfer window, and I think this is behind it, because we're probably not going to be able to buy players for the next 2 or 3 years. Well, if the stadium rebuild goes ahead as it's planned, then it is going to cause a massive problem. It's going to cause a massive problem for the women's team more than ever. Like you said, Meadow Park would be the obvious answer in terms of it's the ground that we still use. But you're right, we can't go from having, like you said, 20,000 season tickets to playing in a ground that holds 4,000. How's that going to work? They're going to just share the season ticket around so that, every week a different 4,000 people go. You know what I mean? This could be for 2 seasons they're talking about potentially. It's taking 2 seasons to rebuild the Emirates, which in principle is great. If it's going to mean more people can get in, more tickets are sold, more money comes into the club long term. Although having said that, the move to the Emirates was supposed to do that. And for 15 years, we couldn't buy any players. So is it the right thing to do? I'm not sure, but I don't know. It would be a massive problem for the women's team if that happens. I really don't know what the answer would be, because Wembley definitely wouldn't work. We wouldn't be allowed to play at Wembley anyway that many games. We wouldn't be allowed to play 10, 15 games at Wembley a season on top of what the men are playing as well. It wouldn't happen. Wembley's got too many other things going on. They wouldn't do it. We wouldn't be able to do it. Got England games. They've got they've got pop concerts. They've got other events goes on at Wembley. It won't work. It definitely wouldn't work. And there'd be no point in us playing at Wembley 90,000. We'd fill it for the odd game. We wouldn't probably fill it, but we'd go close to filling it for the odd game here and there. Chelsea maybe, a couple of big Champions League games, but Leicester at home, West Ham at home. We're not going to. It'd be empty. It'd be no point. It'd be a waste of money, a waste of time. We wouldn't be able to do it. So yeah, I'm not sure where that leaves the women's team. No one's mentioned it. Everyone's talking about the effect on the men's team playing at Wembley. Yeah, okay, that's going to be an impact. But what about the women's team? We've just started playing at the Emirates permanently for all the WSL games, and now we're going to have to probably be homeless for 2 years while they fix that. I mean, we'll end up playing at, I don't know, we'll probably end up playing at West Ham Stadium or something like that. That'll probably be what will end up happening. We'll borrow another stadium in London. I would say West Ham would be the most obvious one, because we wouldn't want to share with Tottenham, would we? Let's be honest. But something like that wouldn't surprise me if we end up playing at West Ham's ground for 2 years or somewhere like that. I don't know where else we'd be able to play in London. That would be big enough. It doesn't have to be 60,000, does it? We could probably have a 25,000, 30,000 capacity stadium somewhere. I don't know what Brentford Stadium holds. I mean, that's probably not going to be big enough, but, something like that we could always look at. Greg says, we could always play our home games at Tottenham. No, we couldn't. I would rather we played in someone's back garden than play at Tottenham's ground. Jimmy says, talking from across the pond, Arsenal women have the best fan support I've ever seen. No, of course we do. Yeah, we do. But where are they going to go if we get kicked out of the Emirates for 2 years? Matthew says, agreed. And talking about ticket sales, once you keep winning, there'll always be tickets. No, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. It's just in the meantime, isn't it? But anyway, I mean, that hasn't been confirmed yet that that's definitely happening. But it is a discussion that needs to be had if they decide that they're going to do that. And I say, if that's going to be the direction the club want to go in long term, brilliant. Where does it leave the women's team for 2 years? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. Playing at Wembley for the men ain't really a problem. It's not ideal, but it's doable and it's not going to make anyone suffer. We'll be able to sell more tickets anyway. But what happens to the women? Come on, Arsenal. At least have a plan and let us know what the plan will be if that happens. Where are the women going to play for 2 years? Because we don't know. We just don't know. But anyway, that's a discussion for another evening, isn't it? I suppose once decisions are made and we'll have something to talk about. But in the meantime, we've got Brighton. Of course, after Brighton, we return to Champions League. We're away from home. And this is a game that we should win, but then we should have beaten Aston Villa and we should beat Brighton. So who knows? So, of course, we travel to Benfica for game 2 of the new Champions League group format. And yes, I think it's fairly obvious that we need to win that game after what happened against Lyon. I think, anything less than 3 points in that game, anything less than 3 points after the 2 games is going to make it really difficult to get in that top 4 to start with. And even to get into the qualifying stage for the next round. If we lose to Benfica, that would be difficult. Obviously, we should beat them. Of course we should. We know we should. We're a better team than them. And we should go and beat them. But again, we said this, didn't we? We said the Man City game, how that went might have affected how the Lyon game went. And it seemed to be the case. We lost them both. And I think how the Brighton game goes could well decide a lot of how the Benfica game goes. If we get confidence back from beating Brighton, I think we'll go and beat Benfica, no problem. Absolutely no problem. But if we were to play badly against Brighton, struggle, not win the game, on top of everything that's happened already over the last few weeks, then that Benfica game suddenly becomes really, really difficult. And I don't know if we can go there and win if we haven't beaten Brighton. That really worries me. We should win, but there's lots of games we should have won and haven't done. I mean, Andreas, that is going to be a factor, but we should really beat Benfica away, shouldn't we?
Yeah, Benfica is one of the weaker teams in the Champions League. And I just checked, they lost 2-1 to Juventus on the first match day. And Juve is not one of the European giants. They are a good team, but remember, we have beaten them twice last season. So, yeah. But I saw Benfica already playing only once when they were in the same group in Champions League like Bayern Munich. And I remember that Bayern was 2-1 down, making silly defending errors. And they were 2-1 down with, I think, five minutes to go. And then Georgia Stanway scored 2 goals from the outside of the box in the dying minutes of the game, and they won 3-2. So it's 2 years ago, I think. But anyway, it shows, don't underestimate them, take them serious. They are playing at home. We don't have the best run at the moment. Yeah, it might change. Hopefully it will change on Sunday, but it won't be easy. And to keep our chances alive in the Champions League, there's no doubt that we must win away in Lisbon. But once again, I say we want our team to win, and therefore we have to send belief and optimism. And I say, we will win 2-0 there without a good performance, but we will manage to win. And normally we should be able to get a clean sheet, but also would be good for our self-confidence, for the confidence of the defense, of the goalkeeper. So let's say 2-0 to the Arsenal on Thursday.
I think Manu Zinsberger might play Thursday, you know.
I would prefer Anneke Borger.
I think Manu Zinsberger will play. I mean, you got to think we bought that new goalkeeper Anneke in, right? And for the WSL games, it's still Manu Zinsberger who's the backup goalkeeper on the bench. Still, do you know what I mean? So I think against Benfica, I think Manu Zinsberger plays. I really do. And of course, that would worry us because of the mistakes you made last season. But then the mistakes Daphne's making this season, you're thinking, well, maybe give Manu a game against Benfica. Why not? And I think she'll play, actually. I really do. I expect her to play. I expect to see a few changes, actually, in the team. A few players that maybe haven't been playing many minutes. I think Lena might start. I think Taylor Hines will probably start. I think who else might start? Maybe Jenna Nice-Wonga, maybe she might start. Who knows? Where's they say where's Wally? Where's Jenna? That might be the case at Benfica. She might play against Benfica, I reckon. You never know.
Kyra will start in Lisbon.
Yeah, Kyra might start. Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of changes for Benfica. I really do. Regardless of Brighton, I can see 6-7 changes to the team. Whether that will be a positive or not, we'll find out, I suppose. But at this moment in time, to me, why not? Why not make changes? Why not make changes for Brighton as well? Why not change things around, freshen it up, try something a bit different? At the moment, we've got nothing to lose. The WSL's probably gone. We have to win the game, but let's try something a bit different. What we've done isn't working. The midfield doesn't work. Let's maybe do something different. And I think Benfica, we will see a lot of changes. And yeah, it'll be an interesting game for that reason. It could be quite fun to watch, actually. We haven't had much fun watching Arsenal recently, but that game could be quite fun. LG says the expansion has come too soon, in my opinion. We need to establish dominance first in terms of big trophies before making such a move. What, like Tottenham did before they improved their stadium, you mean? The best time to do it is when you're financially able to do it, I suppose. And if at this moment in time, club feels that we're able to make that move, then yeah, the expansion of the stadium, I suppose they'll do it, won't they? LG says Bayern in the Frauen Bundesliga, Bayern in the European Champions League against serious teams. Yeah. Jimmy says 4 days. Yeah, 4 days rest is helpful, but we've got to travel. Greg says we'll beat hang on, if I get that comment up there. He says we'll beat Benfica 3-0. Yeah, potentially, I'd agree. Vicky says should be lots of goals against Benfica. Should be. Greg says I'm worried Zinsberger will be in on Sunday. Well, yeah, I did kind of half think that, but I don't think she will. With the Benfica game in mind, I think she'll play against Benfica personally. I think that'll be when she'll play. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting. I do think we'll beat, actually, regardless of how the Brighton game goes, I still think we'll beat Benfica anyway. I just feel that we should be much too good for them. It won't be easy away from home. It never is in Europe. But I think we'll get the job done. And yeah, 2-0 would be nice. If Manu's in goal, maybe 3-1. Actually, if Daphne's in goal, maybe 3-1. The mistakes that's happening at the minute. But I think we will win anyway against Benfica. But let's hope this time it's a good week, because we've had a couple of disappointing weeks, haven't we? It's been a struggle, actually. It's been a struggle to enjoy the games. I've found it really difficult. The football's not great. We're not playing particularly well. You don't feel confident that we're going to win. And it's all a bit flat at the minute. You know, the WSL's running away from us quite quickly again. You know, we've had a terrible start in the Champions League, and it's like it's only just turned October, and already we're starting to think what a disaster this season's been. Exactly like last year. But last year we changed. It wasn't the choice the club made, but we changed manager. And it made a big difference. And I'm not saying we should necessarily change the manager. I don't think that's going to happen anyway. I think Renee's quite safe for the time being because of what she's achieved. Although I did hear somebody say the other day that maybe she's going to be Di Matteo. If you remember, he came in at Chelsea, won the Champions League, and then they sacked him soon afterwards. So whether or not Renee will end up being the new Di Matteo remains to be seen. But I personally think she's probably earned the right to have a bit more time, and at least give her the opportunity to try to turn this around, sort herself out. She needs to make better decisions, and she needs to get more consistency in the team she's selecting, in the way we want to play, sort that midfield out, stop playing Mariona there because it's not working. You know, just be proactive and put these things right that are not going well, and show that you can be a top manager. You know, you've done it in games last season, in big games, you got it right tactically, and you need to keep doing that now. You need to turn this around, and you deserve the opportunity to do it. You do, and I'm going to back you to do it. But at this moment in time, I am personally worried whether Renee's got it about her to become that elite level coach that we need. as this club is what we need. And I'm not sure she's got it in her, if I'm honest. But let's see. The next 2 games this week won't decide the future and won't decide whether she's an elite coach or not. But it could go a long way to deciding that she's not, if she doesn't get it right, if she still makes the same mistakes in these 2 games. LG says, even before DVD made Howlers, I always thought she was still a level below Fallon, Tullis, Joyce, and Hampton. See, I don't know. I've liked DVD before she joined Arsenal. I think she's a great goalkeeper. I really do, and I do think she's a top level. Yes, she's made some howlers lately this season. Not been good at all. She did make some good saves the other night, though. To be fair to her, and she did make some good saves against Man City as well. But I like Daphne. I've still got faith that she is a great goalkeeper. And I think a few mistakes here and there doesn't really change that. Yes, if it keeps happening and she ends up like Manu Zinsberger did the last couple of seasons, constantly making terrible mistakes, conceding goals right, left and centre, then I'd have to maybe agree with you. But at the moment, I think Daphne is a top quality goalkeeper. I think she's as good as there is in the WSL. She's just having a couple of bad days, and all goalkeepers do, unfortunately. But I've still got faith in her. Let's face it, Hannah Hampton hasn't always been considered a top goalkeeper, has she? She's done really well. She's a great goalkeeper as well, but she's made mistakes. Greg says, "Don't panic. We can turn this around. Only 1 loss. We can still win the league." Well, I'm glad you're confident, mate. Honestly, I do. I enjoy that confidence that you've got. I don't really agree with it. I've got to be honest. I don't think we can win the league. I mean, mathematically, of course we can. It's early in the season. We've lost 1 game, but we've drawn 2 as well, and that's a problem when we've only played 5 games. We've only won 2 games. That's what you got to look at. We've only lost 1. We've only won 2 in the W. We've won 2. That's it. That's not enough, is it? It's not good enough at this point in the season if we want to be winning the league. Like we said, Tottenham are above us. If that's not enough to make you think, hang on a minute, what's happening here? Surely that's enough on its own to make you question it. I mean, last season was the same. I don't know if it was Tottenham above us, but we were 5th or 6th on the table, wasn't we? This time last year. But it's too much. But better than Man. Well, exactly, yeah. As Vicky says, I agree. Vicky says Chelsea still struggling but not losing. Well, Chelsea are struggling, but they're generally winning, aren't they? Yes, they only got a draw in the Champions League last night, but they're still winning the games, aren't they? Generally in the league, they're getting results when they play. That's the difference. Chelsea play badly and win or draw. We play badly and lose, and that's why Chelsea win the league every year and we don't. Because we have to play well every week to get a result. Chelsea don't. They can play terribly 6 games in a row, win them all, and then they'll suddenly start playing well and win a few more. And whereas we're off form for 1 or 2 games and we've dropped points and that's it, and they've pulled away. And that's what we're up against. And that's why I don't look at how Chelsea play. They're going to win. You just know they're going to win. I almost give up watching Chelsea games now because it's inevitable what'll happen. They'll play badly for 85 minutes, then they'll score and win 1-0, and that's it. Job done. we play well for 85 minutes, can't score, and then concede a daft goal and lose. Yeah, and that's the difference. That is the difference. Literally, that is it. But anyway, it is still early days. We're not going to completely write the season off yet, but we need to turn it around quickly. LG says, I wanted Hampton when she was at Birmingham in 2021. Even then I thought she was better than True. But well, yeah, I mean, I think Zinsberger has had her best days. There's no doubt about that. To be honest with you, I wanted Daphne since 2022 Euros, if I'm honest. So I'm happy we've got her, and I'm not going to say we should sign another goalkeeper. I don't think that's the answer. Midfield's a problem for me at the moment, and getting the balance right in attack. We just haven't got that. We haven't found the front 3 that actually works properly, have we? Chloe Kelly puts great balls in, but after time, Leslie's not on the end of them, not often enough. Beth almost having to move to the left-hand side, which isn't maybe her strongest position when she's playing. What's Olivia Smith's best position? Is it in the centre as a number 10? Is it wide on the left? Is it wide on the right? She's played everywhere and doesn't seem to have found her position yet, I don't think. Caitlin Ford's playing really well on the left-hand side. Every time she plays, I like what she's doing. She gives everything and she makes things happen, but she's not in the team regularly enough. And I don't know, we don't have that balance right. Obviously, Stina gets 20 minutes, 15 minutes here and there. Then he says, why doesn't Beth take corners or free kicks anymore? Yeah, I don't know, actually. That's interesting because she doesn't really, does she? Not often. we're doing stupid short corners a lot now, aren't we? As well, that's another thing. Our set pieces are terrible. They are terrible. Actually. I don't know what's going on with them. We can't defend them. We can't score from them. It's almost like they're a waste of time for us. It's just I don't know what's happening with them. But yeah, we need to get Arteta's set piece coach down and help them out a bit because they need some new ideas. Because maybe Beth needs to take a few more. I mean, I still remember taking a free kick a couple of weeks ago actually, which wasn't great. But anyway, Andreas guy says we need a 10. If Smith can play there, she should. No, I agree. We do. I mean, Mariona maybe should play there. If we're going to play somebody there, she's probably the best player that we've got, one of the best players in the world. But I'd like to see Olivia play there. I would, to see what she can do, because she's a sort of player that can probably thrive in that position, I think. But they need to find, or Renee needs to find where she can get the best out of Olivia Smith. We paid a lot of money for her. She's a very good player. We know how good she is, but we're not seeing the best out of her, are we? Because she's not. I don't think she's playing in that suit. I mean, you've got Mariona's not playing in a position that suits her. You've got Olivia Smith not playing in a position that suits her. Leslie Russo seems to be playing everywhere and nowhere, all at the same time. It's a bit of a mess, isn't it? I think at the minute, and it needs to be sorted out. LG says Liv's best position is on the left. That's where she's most dangerous when cutting onto a dangerous right foot. Renee is misprofiling our players. That's a coach's. No, I agree. I mean, it's the left her best position. Yes, she's played well on the left for Liverpool. She did a few times. We saw that. I actually think you're better off getting her on the ball more. When she's playing wide, she doesn't really get the ball enough for me. When she gets the ball, you think something might happen, but she's not on the ball enough. Whereas if she was in the number 10 more central position, she'd be on the ball more. She could, she could have more impact on a game, and she's capable of doing the unexpected with the goal that she scored and stuff. And I don't know, I'd like to see her play there because she's going to be a better option than Frida in that position, isn't she? I think, because she's a better player than Frida, and I think she'll score as many goals as Frida if she gets into those positions. So I'd like to see her play there, but I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't, unfortunately. But let's see. Renee's got a lot of work to do for me. A lot of work to do. She's got to sort out the positions of the players. She's got to stop all this playing out from the back, backwards passing, sideways passing. She's got to cut out all of that. And I think it was mentioned before. I think it was LG mentioned it about trying to score the perfect goal. And that is, again, that's something. Let's be a little bit more direct. That doesn't hurt, does it? Get the ball in the box. If it's in the box, anything can happen. Anything can happen. You'll get chances to score. And that, we nearly got a goal the other night, didn't we? Mariona's shot, it was a cross into the box, fell to on the edge of the area, and it was a good volley, could have been a goal. And that's what happens when you get the ball in the box. Anything can happen, and we need to do that more. We need to be more direct at times. We're too easy to defend against this season because sideways, backwards. And teams get everyone behind the ball, they can get their shape, and it's too easy. We need to move the ball quicker, get it into the box earlier, and get bodies in the box to get on the end of things and finish them off. And I think that'll be a massive difference. But Renee's got a way she wants to play, clearly. And, that's what's not going to change, I don't think. LG said, someone said Dumornay would be an upgrade on Frida in the number 10. Well, I don't think someone would have. I think most people would agree. Dumornay is a great player. That's twice against us that she's got goals like that she scored the other night. So, yeah, I mean, but we're not going to buy them on, are we? So let's not even think about that. We've got a couple of players who are better at number 10 than Frida, and their current squad as it is, and they're not being used there, are they? So, but we're going to beat Benfica anyway, so let's not worry about that. We are going to beat them. So let's at least finish on a positive note, because it's been quite a difficult show, obviously, with a computer breaking down every 5 minutes a bit earlier, and obviously the performances recently have been really, really frustrating. I'm just so frustrated with it because I know this team's got more about them. I know this team's better than we've seen in the last 2 weeks. I know they are. We've all seen it, and for some reason it's not happening, and it's just so frustrating watching them. So you almost want to throw things at the screen, like, what are you doing? Why do you keep doing that? Why do you keep making those silly mistakes? Why are you passing the ball backwards? It's just doing my head in. And I want to see the Arsenal that we're used to seeing. I want to see that Arsenal again this weekend, and I want to see it next week against Benfica. And I agree that I think the international break can't come soon enough. And for once, we don't normally like international breaks, but this time I think actually it could come at a good time. We can reset, regroup, players go off on international duty, have some success, get some confidence back, and then we can come back and hit the ground running and get on a good run. That's what we need to do. And let's hope that that's what happens. But we've got 2 games to get through first, and hopefully we can get 2 wins and start turning things around and start looking to the future. LG says, when Frida's not scoring, she doesn't contribute anything. She's very sloppy and doesn't dictate games. She's Mikel Marino. Actually, someone said that before, didn't they? I don't know if it was you maybe said it before. I can see that comparison, actually. You're kind of right, I suppose. Jimmy says, I believe Smith has also played 10 for Team Canada. Yeah, I think she has. I'd like to see her play that for Arsenal. I really would. I think she'd be a revelation there, personally. But anyway, let's see what Renee comes up with this weekend against Brighton. Let's hope we can get a win. Any win will do. Any win will do. But if we can, let's play some nice football as well. Let's have an enjoyable game that we can enjoy. Obviously, Andreas, when are you flying? Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow. The late flight.
You staying at your normal place?
This time, Premier Inn in Paddington again. The last time I was staying one night in Premier Inn in Boreham Wood. It's it's not the best quality, but also the price is much lower than in central London. Because nobody wants to stay in Boreham Wood or spend a holiday there. So.
Well, I don't know, some people might, but yeah, it's probably not. It's probably not on top of people's holiday wish list, is it? Boreham Wood, let's be honest. Not unless the Arsenal women are playing there, of course, or maybe Boreham Wood if you like watching them. But no, I'm sure it'll be good. I'm sure it'll be a better experience than the last couple of games have been for you, which hasn't been great, is it? Let's be honest. So the Arsenal need to do better for Andreas. Of course, Jonas played a big part in the vlog the other day, didn't he? He was trying to get himself involved. I like his little dancing, actually. That was pretty cool. I did enjoy that, to be fair. That was fun. But no, obviously Gunnersaurus is great. He's a bit more difficult to track down at the Emirates, though, isn't he? Because you're not quite as close to the pitch as he is at Meadow Park, which is a shame. But anyway, I'm sure Gunnersaurus might well make an appearance. I'm sure we'll see Greg anyway on the vlog this week. I'm sure he's always seems to get himself involved, which is good. It's good to see. It's good to see him. Vicky says, "De Mornay more likely to go to London City Lionesses." Yeah, probably. That wouldn't be a surprise, actually. Let's be honest. LG says, "As much as I love Smith, I'm starting to wonder if she might be as good as we think she is, or we might have overrated her." No, I don't think we've overrated her. I agree with what you said before about a coaching issue. I think at the moment that's what it seems to be. It seems to be a coaching issue with her. Vicky says, "Crossing not good so far." No, it hasn't been. You're right. I agree. But it's going to all change on Sunday. We're gonna smash Brighton now. I'm convinced. It's going to be good. So it's going to be the start of a positive week. And it's going to be good. Don't forget, of course, I won't be here Sunday for the game, unfortunately. Well, I say unfortunately, we're away for the weekend. It's going to probably be our last weekend away before the winter sets in. So we're away. We're going away tomorrow. So I'll watch the game. I won't be able to do a show. But I will be back for Thursday. So I'll be here for the Champions League game Thursday. And of course, next Friday. That should be all right for a show, shouldn't it, next Friday? Because there's no game, is there, next weekend? So that should be okay. So we'll do the show Friday. Hopefully, my computer now seems to have sorted itself out since I restarted it. So hopefully that's ended all those problems and we can be okay. Jimmy says, "Love your passion, boys. Have a great night. And yourself, my friend. We will see you soon." And one something else says, "We might have to wait for a contract with Leon to expire like we always do." Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Anyone who's on the free, we'll snap them up. Don't worry, no problem. LG says, let's stop chopping and changing our wingers and always start our best ones. No, exactly, yeah. Start your best team, you're right. And then you've got subs on the bench to come on and make an impact. But start your best team, get 2 or 3 goals up, and then you can change it. That should be the way to do it. Rather than relying on your subs coming on and saving you every week, which seems to be the plan. Because it's worked a few times. So that seems to be that's her plan now, isn't it? Doesn't matter who starts. We'll get the subs on, they'll change the game. Yeah, well, they haven't done, have they, lately? So... but anyway, look, it's been a tough couple of weeks, and we've all struggled with it. But a new weekend is coming up. It's going to be much better, I'm sure. And we're going to start hitting our form again. And, you know, another 3 or 4 weeks' time, and we'd have forgotten about these last couple of weeks, wouldn't we? We'd have forgotten about them because the team's flying again. So, but yes, I do apologise for the computer issues tonight. I know it's not been ideal, and it hasn't really helped the flow of this show. I probably missed a load of comments during all that time going on because I just couldn't get them on. So I do apologise if I've missed out your comments. I do appreciate them, and it's good to have them on, and I'll try and get them on if I can. I'll say, obviously, being all the issues I had earlier on didn't really help today. But anyway, we've got through it, and that's the main thing. And hopefully Arsenal will get through it on Sunday as well, is what we need. LG says, percentage of blame, 80% Rene, 20% players. I tend to think it's more... I think the manager is responsible for more than that. Not just Rene. I think all managers are, good and bad. Good and bad. The managers pick the team. The managers have picked the tactics. The manager is coaching the players, working with the players. If the players aren't performing, these are good players. They're international players, all of them. You know, they're top players. If they're not performing, I think more of the blame than that is on the manager. Equally, when they play well, like tactically for the Champions League final, Rene 100% would deserve credit for that, because the players had to carry it out, but her tactics for that game were perfect. And it's the same both ways. When tactically we're not on it, do you blame the players? I would say I would blame the manager more. I think it's 100% on the manager. The players are doing what they're told to do. So, you know, yes, some of them have got to be better. We've got to cut out the mistakes. Agree with that. But I don't know. The manager's got to be responsible for everything. Vicky says, I'll be at the Brighton game doing the bus arrival. Welcome. Oh, fantastic. It's your turn this week. That'd be great. You'd enjoy that, because obviously it was great in the last game that obviously we saw Andreas's experience of it, which was great. I got to see the men do that once as well, which was nice, about 5 or 6 years ago. For a game against Everton. That was when Alexis Sanchez was playing, and Theo Walcott and Aaron Ramsey and people like that. It was good. So, yeah, that'll be great. You'll enjoy that. I'm sure it'll be good. And let's hope it's a better game at the end of it this time. And let's hope that you can inspire the players to play better. But let's see. So that's that then for... I was going to say welcome to the weekend, but it's not quite the weekend yet. We've got Friday still to come. And although I'm going away tomorrow, I'm still at work first, which is a bit annoying. But anyway, that is what it is. And of course, Andreas will be on his way to hopefully sunny London for another great weekend of Arsenal women's football. That's going to be better this weekend. You're a little jet setter, aren't you? You're back and forth to London more than... You might as well just move to London, mightn't you, really? Let's be honest. You'd be better off just moving, wouldn't you?
Yeah. And the strange thing is, it was cheaper to fly back on Wednesday and fly again on Friday than to stay 2 more nights. So it's crazy. But the prices for the hotels would have been much higher than for flying back and returning again. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, I'd like to say thank you again to Greg for the scarf he gifted me last game, and thanks to Vicky P for the card from the Champions League final. It's already hanging on my wall.
Oh, fantastic. Look at that. You see, that's what it's all about, isn't it? That is what it's all about. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. LG says, Arteta has done less than Rene, but feels more safe. Well, he kind of does. I think they're both pretty safe, actually. I can't see any changes being made managerial-wise in the foreseeable future, if I'm honest, for good or bad. I'm not sure yet, either way yet. But anyway, I think that's the way it is. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, if you do see Andreas at the weekend at the game, obviously say hello. If you're going to give him any more freebies, I'm sure he'd more than happily accept them. You know, maybe one of the new tracksuit jackets or something. If you've got one of them going, maybe Andreas deserves that as well. So, yeah, definitely say hello. Greg says, we've got to get back to playing as a team instead of individuals. Yeah, exactly. I said that the other night, actually, when the game was on, the Lyon game, that we looked like 11 players. Lyon looked like a team with a plan, and we looked like 11 players running around aimlessly, not knowing what they were doing. And that was a difference. And you're right, we need to play as a team. And when we did that last season, we had a lot of success. This season, we do look like 11 players that don't really know what they're doing together, which is that down to the changes or what is, I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, you're right. Let's get back to playing as a team. Let's do what we do best. That's what we need to start doing again. Go back to basics. Do what we do best. Stop faffing around at the back and let's get back to winning ways. Let's get 3 points on the board on Sunday, and let's enjoy a game. Finally, we can actually sit back and enjoy a game, hopefully, rather than the stress and frustration of the last few weeks, which has been building and building and building quite quickly, unfortunately. Anyway, we are going to look forward to the weekend. Andreas, thank you very much for joining us. Have you enjoyed it? I know it's been a bit of a downer of a show tonight, but that's the way things are at the minute, isn't it? Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's not always a joy to talk about defeats, but anyway, we have to. And as it said, in good and bad times, it's our club, and we are supporting the Arsenal, even if they lose. As you can see, I'm back again. I'm always back for the games, even if they lose. And it's my team. I love them, and it was great to talk about it, discuss everything. And I hope I could check in when you had your computer problems. And
I'll look back on it later and see how it went. The bits I missed. Which I'm sure were great. So yeah, obviously, thanks for having to take over bits and pieces. Hopefully that won't happen again. I've had a few issues with the computer lately. I don't know whether it needs thrown in the bin and a new one, maybe. That might be something we'll look at. Greg says, have a nice break, Rich, and see you Sunday. We'll all keep the faith. Of course, we'll keep the faith. Yeah, we will. Vicky just says you're welcome, obviously, for the Champions League. I think that you got there, but yeah, I mean, it's a great little community, isn't it? You guys, it is great that that's what we've sort of built up here, which is good. Long may that continue. And anyone else who wants to meet up at games, you know what I mean? It'd be great to get some more. It'd be great to get some other people on the video as well, wouldn't it? So if you want to have a chat on the camera to Andreas at the weekend, that would be great as well. Get your thoughts on everything, score prediction before the game, and maybe a chat afterwards to see what you made of it all. So we'll be back. I'll be back on Thursday for the game against Benfica, which hopefully will be a good one. I'm sure it will. Is that not the early kickoff? Is it? Hang on. What time's the kickoff? Is it the early kickoff?
No. Benfica is at 8 UK time.
Ah, right. Okay. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah. Oh, that's good stuff. Yeah, that's all right. I can do that one. So yeah, I'll see you Thursday for the game, and then of course we'll be back Friday as well for the usual show. Hopefully we'll have 2 good games to talk about. We won't be so down in the dumps about it all. Hopefully my computer will work after it's had a break, and everything will be rosy in the garden again next week. Let's hope so. So joy for that. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. Obviously, have a safe trip, Andreas, back down to London, and enjoy the game. I'm sure you will. And we'll enjoy our little trip away as well. And yeah, we will see you all on Thursday, which is going to be fun, I'm sure. So join us for all of that. Thank you for watching. Thanks to Andreas. Thank you for all your comments. I do apologize if I missed some of them out. It all got a bit hectic there when I was in and out trying to fix my computer, trying to get things to work and everything else. It was a bit of a nightmare. But anyway, we got through it, and we've managed to complete the show in one piece, which is good. So thanks for watching. Thanks to Andreas. Thanks to you guys. Like, share, and subscribe. I will see you Thursday. Enjoy the game Sunday. And of course, as always, come on, you Gunners. Let's turn this around. Let's do it. Come on. No messing around. See you soon, guys. Take it easy.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.